Hi, I'm Ruslan America Shadisi here with another episode of Dark Theory USA. We're gonna talk about that, the possibility that United States, whether it's gonna attack Iran or not, and if yes, how so, and to what extent, and if not, what's gonna stop. But before everything, first I need to explain a couple of things before we get to the point, which is what type of groups, organizations, what group of people are living inside the Iran and outside of the Iran, and what is their opinion toward the regime or opposition leaders and such. So since I grew up in Iran, I know relatively who is who and what this group of people are representing. I mean, of course, after I came to United States 10 years ago, still I was learning to get to know more about these people, because from outside, you're just going to see, oh, these are pro-regime and they are anti-regime. But when you delve into it, it's way more than that. It's not as simple as in United States, we have Republican Democrats. So basically, the libertarian or independents, they are irrelevant. That's not the case in Iran. Like it's kind of like Premier League in England. Like till the sometimes the last week of the league, you're not gonna know that you won't be able to tell if it's gonna be Arsenal or Chelsea or Manchester United or Manchester City that it's gonna be the winner. So for that reason, and since one U-Haul truck when ran over the monarchist protesters in Los Angeles, and also the one who ran over, you might think, oh, that was pro-regime, but actually that was anti-regime, but from different group of protesters organization that was part of MEK. So I'm going to explain them, and then based on that, I'm going to say that what is the possibility or not, and anyway, in less than 72 hours, we're going to know what's going on. One of them is those people who are pro-regime at all costs, and they basically, that's the ideology. And the reason that because they don't want to turn like a west or east. They want to say, oh, we are organic, we are authentic, we are ourselves. We're just gonna like basically believe in Shia's government, and they say, well, if we lose it, we lose we lose all the value. It's not just all these mullahs and ayatollahs gonna be gone, and after that still we're gonna have our war. They're gonna say they're gonna go after us, and the alternative is so bad that no matter how poor we are under this regime, even though we don't like what they are doing, like the policy wise, but it still is better than what Israel is cooking for us. There are other group of people. This group, like let's say, there are 10%. And there are 10% who are monarchists. They say, oh, everything was good prior to the revolution, and under the Shah, everything was perfect. We love that. We just want to go back to our ex. They say, never go back to our ex. They're just gonna go back to their ex. They say, oh, that revolution was just a mistake, was just oopsie. That wasn't anything that people meant. We're gonna just go back where we were, like 47 years ago, to the monarchies, and we have the candidate, son of the Shah. But they are claiming, oh, we're just not gonna say because he's son of Shah, he's gonna be son of the Shah. There will be election to make sure after him, not necessarily son or daughter of him gonna be the Shah or the queen, but the king. Shah means king in Persian. But we're gonna see whoever is the most suited. But which, like, if you are just there to just have the throne, like be like a throne and be just a king, and just it is kind of like for the show off, because normally kings don't have power that much. So what's the point? Like, what are the criteria, qualifications to make sure, like, oh, this is the good Shah, this is the good queen? Even though they don't have any responsibility, there's not so much things they can do. They are just sitting back and looking cute. So I don't know what are the criteria, like their smile, if they have the good teeth, or I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, that is their premise, that is their claim. Another group, they are also like 10-15%. Another group is Mujahideen. They are MEK. They are very well organized, as if they are Mossad. And they are not afraid of, they are not shy of attack, like physical attack, like terror attack. They are not afraid of that either. So they do it if it is necessary. That's why they are very unpopular, because they love violence. And they are not afraid of violence. That's why they don't have any fans that much, whether it is outside of Iran or inside of the Iran. So they are like, their popularity maybe it is 2%, 3%. That nobody likes them. So even those people who hate the regime, they don't like them because they have bad memory. In the beginning of the revolution, when they realized that they are cut out by the Islamic Republic, so they wanted to retaliate, because in the beginning they thought that they would get the position after the Shah, because they were against the Shah as well. But after that they realized that Islamic Republic um, kicked everybody out. So they wanted to retaliate, and it was brutal. I'm saying so many casualty, and regular people got killed as well. I mean, that's why like people are not very happy about them, so they are not very optimistic if they get into power. That's why they don't have any popularity. It has been their approval rate, it has been tanked. So they are just inside their circle. They are popular, and but also they are very well organized. They know what to do, what to say. It's crazy. And then there is the group of people that are just separatists, like they just want to get piece of Iran out of the Iran and then establish their own country. And they are mostly northwest and southeast most of the time. So they say we're just going to establish our country, we're going to get separated from Iran. Iran hasn't done anything for us. And there are some of them that in both Shah's time, prior to Islamic Republic, and at this current regime, they were suppressed by both of them. That's why they hate both monarchies, because they want to bring the Shah, son of the Shah back. So they hate both monarchies and regime, because they say under both of them we were suppressed. So these people mostly, they just want to get separated and say we don't want to have anything to do with Iran, because they were feeling like they were facing discrimination, because Shah wanted to bring the Persia back and stuff. And the last but not least is the main group of people. There are like 70, like I don't know, 70, 60, something like that, 60% of the people. They are the people that actually they don't care that much if it is the Shah, if it is Islamic Republic, whether they are religious or not religious. They say, I just want to be wealthy, I just want to be happy, I just want to be afford to buy a house, to have a future. So the problem is just they want Iran to stay Iran, to not get separated, to not be torn apart to pieces. And also to have the better economically do better. That's why most of them they voted for reformists, because not that they care about what their ideology was, but mostly their slogan, the reformists, was, oh, we want to make you feel better, get you richer, and make everything cheaper. So for financial like they were financially motivated to vote for them. So even right now, whether they side with the regime, or they don't participate in the protest against the regime, or even if they are in protest against regime, whether they participate or not participate against the regime, or even participate pro-regime, either way, 60% of the people that you are seeing, it's not like they are ready to die for Islamic Republic or for monarchies or for MEK or for whatever. It's just they say we want respect, we want to be respected. Our passport means something, like, because I think one of the lowest passport is Iran passport. Like only there are few countries you can go to without visa, and they say we want to be globally accepted, not lose 1 inch of our land, our country, and have the pride again, and financially do good. Like something like every citizen of every country, each country would say that. So besides those 10%, 15%, 2% that I was talking about, that's 70, 60% of the people. All they are there just for better life. That's it. So now, everybody knows that. Islamic Republic knows that. America knows that. President Trump knows that. Netanyahu knows that. Khamenei knows that. All of them, they know that. They say, okay, how can we make that 60% for us? Because think about that. If those 60% team up with monarchists, because MEK, like, they are not gonna have that much fortune and luck, because they are really unpopular, really. But still are there. Let's say 30% go with them, 40%, for example, go with monarchists or whatever. Then only 10% is left to be supporter of the regime, and vice versa. Let's say monarchists, they go all to the street, all the way, with their guns in their hand. They're all ready to die for Iran, for the Shah, for the kingdom, whatever. But the people team up with the regime, on that occasion, even though they are unhappy about the regime, but they don't want to see what the monarchists are doing, it's over. Again, there's going to be already they have 10% plus 60% or 50%. Again, they're going to be majority against them, so the monarchists would be on minority. So now it is the game that they are playing to steal those 50-60%. We do that in America as well, like in swing states. They don't know if they want to vote for Republicans or Democrats. So you see all the fights, all the rallies are held over there. Like those, like let's say California for Democrats. Democrats won't go to rally to California because they know that already they're gonna get elected over there. So they focus on those states that they are not voting for them. And Republicans, for example, they don't go to Wyoming or Alaska because they know that they're gonna vote for Republicans anyway. So they all of their focus is on those swing states. Then right now, Israel is gonna say, "Oh, all the problem is because of the regime. So team up with me because day after the regime, it's gonna be beautiful then." America is saying, "I am on your side. If they're gonna kill you while you are protesting, I'm gonna be your defender. I'm gonna be your supporter. I'm gonna back you up." So to make people be pro-America or pro-Israel, and regime also wants that to say, hey, look what their plan is, look what they have done to us. Like if I'm not mistaken, so far 109 officer or people who were working like officer got killed. Some of them probably they were firefighters, some of them they were regular people, not all of them they were cops or stuff. But there were so many people got killed actually in those protests from the regime side, not anti-regime. So now they are saying, look, the moment they get the power, all of you are going to get slaughtered. And just look what they did to Syria, what they did to Gaza, what they did to Libya, and they are doing the same thing, the same plan right now. And do you think it's going to be different right now? Just look at their resume. Every time they wanted to do regime change, how did it turn out? Now Iraqi people are better off with right now America do regime change for them, or prior to that while the Saddam was there. So now all of them they are doing their propaganda to make sure like people those that 60% that they can be moved go to their direction. But now, what's gonna happen? So now that you know that what I'm talking about, oh, MEK is more leftist, is more basically communist, and they are more pro-republic. Because republic doesn't mean that you are right winger or left winger. Depends. Like you can be like they are kind of North Korea, the republic. So Republic of China. So the republic doesn't mean necessarily you're right winger or left winger. Depends on the context. But they are mostly communists, leftists, and Republican believe in republic, and monarchists are mostly right winger and believe in monarchism, and king, queen, all those stuff. And Islamic Republic says I'm in middle of the boat. I'm against communism. I'm against capitalism. I'm against this or that. Which in practical they are more leftist. They are more communist because some of the law that you are seeing it's literally communism. So now that you know that where they are leaning politically, financially, economically, and the background wise, so now we're going to say, okay, what are the possible situations? One of them is if Iran right now proves that to the America, because if the war, if United States wants to start the war, if the president of United States wants to start the war, that's going to take more than 60 days, or and it's gonna cost so many American troops lives. Then they need congressional approval from the Congress. So Congress needs to vote for that. But if it is sharp and fast and it's easy, quick, with no almost no casualty and no damage, then president can strike without Congress approval. So like 12 days war with the Iran, like if America wanted to join, if that was only let's say 12 days, 15 days, and no American almost got killed and not so much damages were done to our facilities, to our equipment, then probably President of United States can do that with, like for example, Maduro, without letting the Congress know. But if it's going to be long-term plan, if it's going to take more than 60 days, and if it's going to be costly, human lives wise, or even money wise, then you need the Congress to approve that. 4. So right now we know that some of Republicans, they are skeptic, like Thomas Massey, and Democrats gonna be against Trump whatever he says. If he says peace, probably Democrats gonna be pro-war. If he says pro-war, they have Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. So that those Democrats plus a couple of Republicans, they are skeptic, so he won't get the vote. So he has to make it quick. So one of the, like, and it's not like Trump says by himself that, oh, I think it's gonna take less than 60 days. Oh, whoops, I made a mistake. There's a team like Tulsi Gabbard. Those people, they go to her, give him briefing, and say, hey, listen, we estimate 200 soldiers gonna get killed. We estimate that many people gonna get killed, and then he makes the decision accordingly. So in that case, Iran is trying its best to show the reason and evidence that when Tulsi Gabbard goes to Trump or people like that, to when they are reporting, estimate would be more than 500 American soldiers, more than a couple of $1 billion damage to infrastructures and equipments and bases in United States, and also it's gonna get the long war, like more than 60 days. So those 3 parameters: 1, it's gonna be longer than 60 days. It's gonna be more than around 200 to 500 casualty American people are gonna get killed, and billions of dollars damage. If these 3 conditions are met, then Trump has to go to the Congress and explain to them, hey, we need to do that war. And Iran knows that they won't accept that. The Congress wouldn't vote for that. So they want to make sure that all the evidences suggest that Trump has to go to the Congress, because casualty, like damages to the human lives, to the our equipment and bases, is going to be so high that he cannot do it by himself. So that's Iran. So Iran is threatening, and it is showing. It's showing their teeth. Hey, we are ready. And Israel, oddly, is quiet right now. And the reason they are quiet, because that is how Israelis do. Israelis, whenever they want something, if they know that you are not giving to them, whether they want to steal it from you or do whatever they, a smart, chosen, smart tactic, they do that. And if they don't have any other choice, they want to beg, they will beg you, and they would say how much they love that, and you are their greatest ally, blah blah blah. But the moment that they see you would give it to them without them telling you, they act like it never happened. They never had any inclination. Because normal human being like me, Amir Hossein, I go, if you are giving me something that I really love, I would say, well, thank you, I would love that. But for them, in order to not make you feel like you did something good to them, they say, okay, so what? So Netanyahu, for 4 times, he sent the direct message to people of Iran: revolt against the regime, go out in the street, we got your back, all those promises. But right now, people who are protesting, they say, where are you? He's not even talking. So we are monitoring the situation. Actually, that's a good thing, because it's not like only Faisal. Like, for example, like Iraq war, Netanyahu was telling to America, everything going to be better for all of us. We've got your back. We help you if you attack Iraq. And when America got stuck in Iraq, Israel was acting like, okay, so why did you do that in first place? Well, we were listening to you. So now people of Iran, they are learning in the hard way. I mean, of course, Mossad is in the street. They are doing their own thing. You could see that they already arrested some people. They were in contact with Iran. And again, Iran, you cannot trust Iran either. Like, they can take random people and blur their faces, and they say, okay, so now you have to confess that you are from the Muslim. So basically, you cannot trust any of them. Each one of them, they are trying to make their own point. Like, Iran can lie about that, oh, this guy was from the Musa. Like, the funny thing is, Iran claims that, oh, we have so many videos that they are killing and burning our people, regular people. But we are not showing anyway, because out of respect to those families of the victims. And same in here, like Iran International by Israel, they are claiming there are thousands of people were killed in one day. We know, but first of all, if there is the blackout in internet, if there is the outage of the internet, if internet is shut down, it's off, then how is it possible that we don't know anything about what's going on over there, but we have the exact number how many people were killed? But for some reason we don't know their name, because next time tell us their name, those victims. Also, they said we have the video for the thousands of people were killed, but out of respect to the victim, we are not going to show that. So both sides, they are lying. They are saying This is our claim, but don't ask us how we got their source. Trust me, bro. So last but not least, what I'm thinking is right now Trump is getting briefed. If it's going to be quick and if it is going to be fast, he will do that. He already last hour, 1 hour ago, he put 25% tariff on every country that who is doing dealing with Iran and also with America. And also Trump was saying yesterday when from the floor that he was going to White House, he said basically Iran called them day before, which is Friday night, which would be Friday night, and said we want to make a deal. And Trump is waiting to see like if it makes sense to bomb them first and then negotiate with them, or negotiate first and then bomb them. But here's the catch: right now, since after those 2 days that invited son of Shah, Reza Pahlavi invited people to go out and then protest. So in return, regime asked its followers to go out in the street to show that no, it's like, because the way that Israel was showing was like whole country, all the people are against the regime. So in order to change the face, because Fox News kept showing those, right? So now Iran showed brought so many of their followers, thousands of people in the street that say, you see, they were not all the Iranian people. They were just some fraction of them. And if like thousands of people came in here against the regime, more than thousands of them came to support the regime. So it was crazy. I never saw something like that in Women Life Freedom or even before. In all the protests, people who were even pro-regime, they sat at home and they just watch. And people who were against the regime, they were in the street yelling and talking, which I always take the protester sides, because it's your country. The government should serve you. So you shouldn't be afraid of asking what is your right. But anyway, what I'm saying is it was crazy when I saw that was for the first time. At the same time that anti-regime were protesting, pro-regime went to a street. So just like a civil war. And right now they are showing that, so Trump would make a second thought before they attack that, because they were giving him intel probably that, you see, everybody hates the regime, nobody's pro-regime, everybody's in the street shows. But because the way that he was tweeting was like, oh, you see millions of people are in the street, so Iran brought them out, so the videos would get out and people see that, oh, it's not whole people that are anti-regime, there are many people pro them. But even when you did saw if you watch the interview with those people who were protesting for pro-regime, they were saying that just we don't like the way they were protesting. We are one of those protesters, but we don't want to get anybody killed. So anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see that, because normally people would try to see like if America attacks, Israel attacks, if Iran loses, even people who were pro-regime, still they're gonna live their life after the regime, whatever it is. It's monarchies, if it is republic or whatever. But now they feel like, especially after 12 days war, even those people who hated the regime, they defended, because they saw that how unfairly Iran was attacked. Iran was ready. They were supposed to in 2 days go to the negotiate, and at the same time they realized that Trump and Netanyahu, they were planning to attack. So they were playing good cop bad cop. So while Iran is defenseless because they're trusting America to have negotiation, Israel attack. Now everybody started to say, oh, forever, for years we were begging Iran to have a dialogue, have a communication with Iran, with the United States, to have a deal, so financially we would be better by sanctions being lifted off. But now, based on how unfairly they backstabbed Iran, so now even those people who had problems with the regime, right now they are not teaming up with Israel. And also one of the reasons is because of 2 years of slaughtering women and children in Gaza, made even those people who were pro-Israel back in the day, they see that, oh, if this is what they are doing it to their neighbors, you think they're gonna care about us Iranian outside? They're gonna make us just be so weak and always have the civil war, just like Somalia, just like Syria right now, always terror attack, always some people they claim to be separated from the country. So they say, if it is how they are treating their neighbors in Gaza, Israelis, how are they going to treat us when they get into the border? So after 2 years of war with Israel in Israel Gaza, many even people who used to be fan of the Israel, they are not anymore. So not that they are fan of Iran, but at least they are saying, lesser evil, something like that. And it's so crazy. But Trump knows that. I think Trump got the confident with the Maduro thing when he captured him. So he thinks, oh, now I can go and then do the 48 hours regime change anywhere. But the difference is midterm is closer than he thinks. probably he needs a couple of accomplishments. So when he rallies for his midterm, he says, "This is what I've done," because his approval rating is tanking. And worst thing that Trump does is the way he talks makes people even angrier, especially his voters. Because, for example, like instead of saying, "Yeah, I'm working on it to make sure like the economy is good," or gets better, he says, "No, everything is good." Everyone who says economy is not good is like a Russia hoax. It's just Democrats' new way of blaming everything on me. Everything is perfect. And just like how Biden was talking and people didn't buy that and say, "Hey, I don't care what your data, what your CNN, what your analysts are saying. I cannot afford grocery. I cannot pay my rent. I cannot afford any vacation throughout the year. So you can tell me all day long, oh, look at our GDP, look at the stock market, look at NASDAQ, look at this, look at that." But in the end of the day, I don't have job. I cannot afford anything. I'm looking for the job, but our jobs are stolen by overseas workers. Just like that, Trump is doing the same thing. He didn't learn the lesson. Like you have to understand, people don't rely on your data on TV, on Fox News. They look at their pocket. They look at their wallet. And Trump, whether he likes it or not, I think he knows that. After Mamdani, he realized that, oh, okay, it's a serious thing. So for that reason, I think now he needs more than ever to do something, because for 1 year he really betrayed MAGA, in my opinion. Everything he promised, he was president of the peace. Look, he has bombed 8 countries so far. In his first year, he has bombed 8 countries, president of the peace, and he wants Nobel Peace Prize for what? I don't know. Or I could bomb 10 fights, but I brought it up. So it's just a mess. Like this administration at this point, I'm gonna say it's just a joke. If he doesn't give me Greenland and Canada as he promised, and if he doesn't mass deport people, like and price of the gas, everything doesn't come down, definitely I'm not gonna vote Republican. Definitely. And now on top of that, if he goes to fight with Iran, but this time people of Iran realize that, oh, America is doing one thing. They keep attacking viciously, but smart and quick and fast. And they expect us to cool down the temperature and not retaliate back. And that is making them to keep attacking again and again, like Soleimani, like again attack the nuclear facilities. So what if right now we hit them so bad, and then all the Democrats go against him, and then he gets caught in the corner. So now this is what people of Iran are thinking. As a nationalist American, that is what I hate the most. My troops get killed. I don't give a shit about Israel or Islamic Republic. I care about our people who are in the Middle East. That's why people say, but you were born in Iran. So any immigrants who come to America and wants to use the resources of America and human troops in America, sacrifice them, sacrifice our resources, whether it is our troops or our people or money, for the country of their birth, they're traitor. Just like European in World War One. They dragged America to the World War One because they said that is our home. No, no, enough. This is your home, America. Just like so many Venezuela, like Mark Rubio, he wants to retaliate against the Cuba and see what he's doing right now. He's using our resources, our money, or everything, our attention, our energy to just retaliate. Bro, it's gone. It's over. You're here. Now you're American. You're not Cuban. You shouldn't care less. Whatever we do with Cuba should benefit America. But is it attacking Iran benefiting America? Do we really need anything from them at this point? Since we're gonna get the Greenland and we already have we have access to Venezuela's oil and we took control of our hemisphere. Do we really need anything, or we are just doing it for Israel? So any people of Iran that they are doing it, they are traitor to United States. They are using the resources of America for their country, just as Europeans were traitor to United States to drag America to World War One because they said that is our home. No, there is one home, and that's United States of America. So only I care about our troops and our people, and I think right now Iran is thinking maybe we should bomb them so badly, their bases in the Middle East. So then the moment that Trump gets shot, Democrats could go and stop him from the continued war. Because every time he comes and does the quickest thing, and we don't retaliate to chill everything down, and that makes him to say, oh, I can keep doing it, and they are afraid to retaliate. But at this point, prior to 12 days war, maybe that was possible. But right now, after 12 days war, people of Iran, they got united under the regime against Israel. for two reasons again, because they saw that what Israel has done to all the countries in neighbor, so they don't trust Israel as they used to. Or back in the day, even if they didn't like Israel, they were saying, oh, okay, that's one other country. But right now they know that what they are capable of and what they have done to others. It's still, just look what they are doing. It's still they are bombing the Syria. It's still they occupy a piece of Israel, a land of Syria, and then even Netanyahu admitted that I'm looking for greater Israel. So for that reason, what they saw that Israel has done to the Gaza and the neighbors, and also how Iran got backstabbed, because all the people who voted for Pezeshkian, they voted because they wanted negotiation with America so the sanctions would be lifted. And Iran accepted almost every condition, but every time that Mossad had a meeting with Vitkov, America next week came with the new condition. So from the week 3, everything was going well, and they were about to sign the contract, but after week 3, started to change their condition. From 3.6% enrichment, they came to 0%. From having the facility inside the Iran, they said no, nothing inside the Iran. And then from saying, okay, we don't care about the missiles because everybody has a ballistic, it's not it's not unconventional missiles and weapons. Everybody has it, so why can't we? And they just kept adding the requirement until eventually Iran would say no, and Israel would say, you see, they are not here for that. Like eventually they would say no if you keep adding more promises. If today I say I'm gonna buy this for 100,000, you say okay, deal. Tomorrow I say I will sell it to you. For like I will buy that for 18,000, 80,000, or then next day 70,000. Eventually I'm going to say give it to me free. So eventually you have to say no. So the whole tactic was to make the conditions so hard so Iran has no choice to just to say no, but to say no. And that was the game they were playing, and Iran saw that. Like so many people were saying every problem we have is because of Islamic Republic. America wants to negotiate, Iran doesn't want it. But because of the position, they went and they did negotiation exactly as people demanded the regime to. But they still, when they got backstabbed, now people have don't much say to defend Israel or America. They say, yeah, you're right, actually. This time, at least, you listen to everything they said, and but that was them who basically started the war. So for that reason, now it is happening after 12 days war. Um, because it's happening after 12 days war. I think right now way more people gonna team up with the regime than expected. One of the reasons that Israel got surprised was that it says when we start the war and then people start to protest, but people didn't, and Israel got surprised. Even they were complaining about that because the way it operated, it wasn't like Israel was attacking, Iran was attacking, Israel was defending. So if it happens again, now many people gonna be there. I had never seen that in last 5 years that so many people go to a street pro regime. I have never seen that. It was crazy. After the Soleimani, that was the biggest crowd to support the regime. And the reason is because they have seen what Israel is capable of, and they see that from their end, Iran did whatever they could to bring them to the table, but they're just thinking about, oh, first I attack you and then I negotiate. And I'm afraid if Iran tries to do that, if tries to attack viciously Americas to say, hey, I have been giving you so many passes, and I thought that you would go back down, but you got more courageous to just do more attack, more attack. It's not going to be one of those quick attacks anymore. You attack, I attack you viciously, and even Trump doesn't have the support. If something like that happened last year, still MAGA was so big that nobody could say no. But at this point, even MAGA cannot support that. You see the fraction in the MAGA world, how people are divided. Megyn Kelly, if right now Megyn Kelly is under attack, you see how much we are damaged and how much there's a crack between in MAGA coalition. So for that reason, it won't be like prior 12 days war. It would be way more severe, and I hope it doesn't happen. I hope President Trump focus on what benefits America and Americans, which is Greenland and Canada. And then we do what if Iran wants to play us smart, we respond them.